powdery substance, which doesn't say a whole lot because that white residue could be.
Was any of this visible from the entryway to the house?
No.
So they had to conduct a search to find this.
Yes, go through the house to get to.
So then this evidence of drinking straw with what might be a drug residue does not change whether or not the initial search was valid. Correct?
Okay.
Was it visible from the outside of his bedroom doorway? If you were standing in the house,
I was
outside
speaking
the
of house
bedroom
doorway.
and I'm speaking of the bedroom, because I think there's a big difference between the house. Could you see it if you were standing outside the bed in it? Could you see it, the straw?
If it was in the trash can.
Yes. It all depends on where the trash can would be placed.
So we're not sure where straw is.
It was in the wastebasket, but we don't wastebasket place. Like the wastebasket would be next to the door, it could be next to the bed, but we wouldn't.
We don't have an exact diagram of the bedroom with all living materials at the time of it.
Can you explain the search on in materials in wastebaskets? Is it legal to search wastebaskets? In the law area, if something is in a trash can in public view, it is considered public use. So, explain how does the fact that the straw in the wastebasket any relevance to your case?
No.
Would you say that the reason the search is invalid is because the placement of the straw where it was in the house, or the fact that Mrs. Randolph refused the search? Which one of these should we be weighing our decision on? Okay, you've got a few different things here. She said no. It was in his bedroom. It was in a trash can.
But
Which one of those is...
he said no, not she.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Which one of these is what really breaks?
We wish to base this case on the fact that he said no and was explicitly there when she said yes and they entered the home.
All right, can you speak a little bit more about this, some precedents of refusal of
Sorry,
search?
Well, the police did ask, Mrs. Randolph who said yes, and the owners of the home who said no. And it's like,
I was not aware of this. And they were present at the time?
they were not present, they called the owners of the home. Mr. Randolph's parents.
Who also is solicitor yourself.
I mean, this isn't like Matt. You guys actually at the house, and he says no. Okay.
Can you explain Chapman v. United and the relevance of that to...
Chapman v. United, the court again held that a supposed third-party consent was the time the case involved the search of a rented home after the landlord consented to the entry.
My problem with this is keep bringing it up. And legally, when a couple engages in marriage and they become married, aren't they considered as a one person by law? So we're talking third party, and I still don't see a third party here. I'm still seeing a first party with the married. I'm the fact that they're married. And I can't get over the fact that that's a first party search because it's not considered third party when you are legally married. Can you explain how we can overlook the marriage factor in this? Is that it's not a third party. From a marriage point of view, it's a first party search. She's saying they're married. She's saying go ahead. It's not third party. It's not like my cousin Vinny's living. It's not like I have a roommate living in my apartment. Okay? I'm married. This married.
Well, it's
Did the owner of the house get consent to search the premise?
the owners, no. The occupants.
Thank you.
The occupants.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll stop yourself there. Good time.
Going off of the marriage, if one party of marriage says yes and the other says no, and the option goes over.
It basically goes to if you go to a neighbor's house and the wife says come in and the husband says stay out, it's social custom that you would stay out because you wouldn't want to.
But we're not talking about social custom.
We're not talking social custom here. We're looking at legal law of the land. And we're looking at a situation. A police officer walks in, the wife says yes, the man says no. But
Do we have a copy of these at all? Did you guys get a chance to look at it and to see if their signatures are bold on the lease? Because that would be really relevant. Or if it was just kind of a, hey, we own this house, I live here and not really pay rent. We know that they paid rent for sure.
Going back to the marriage, if they wanted to like, if they try to talk to, I'm trying to let's say, it'd be kind of not pitting them against each other. It's I don't know.
Do you want a minute to watch your thoughts?
No, it's kind of, it's up here, it's just not coming out.
Maybe I should ask, justify how this is a third-party search. Any question I should ask. Justify how this search is a third-party search and relate those.
Alright, talking as buddy-wise, it could be one person or a group. And it's not some, and then you want that, it could be anything from one person to multiple, was one party, which is the owners, and it's husband and wife.
They're two separate parties.
Individually, they're two, to the law, they are one person.
So they're one party.
It's like a second party search? Is that what we're doing?
Does the owners of the home even count though?
Well, they-
I mean, do the owners of the property count in this criteria? Because my question goes, now we're in rental laws. With rental laws, you have a situation of, you have the suspect, Randolph, and his wife paying rent. At that point, that lease, that rent signifies that when it comes to legality of the home itself, the materials in the home, the owners are no longer responsible for illegal properties within that home. It's the renters are now responsible for what's in the property. So rental, when you pay that lease, you're in a binding contract. That contract divides who's responsible for what in that case.
If there's a lease.
If there's a lease. Well, even if they're paying rent, you can have a lease with a handshake. It doesn't have to be a written agreement. It can be a handshake agreement.
If
There is rent being paid.
And then we've got
If there is
Matlock
rent
who
being
says
paid.
that
We don't.
Just saying, there's rent being paid.
when did they ask us? How did that timeline work out? They ask him no, her yes. They go in, search, find stuff, and then ask owners. Did they ask owners before the search?
They asked her, she said, or him. Yes.
Asked him.
Him said no, her, yes, and
He
then,
then went and got his parents on the phone who explicitly told the police no.
Oh, mommy and daddy, they say no. Okay.
And then they entered the house, or is that after they entered the house on this person? Before. So they had 2 no's and 1 yes.
Are we just adding up?
They keep bringing in
There's more than one? I mean,
No, did they ask the child? Was there the child?
our children. What do they ask? Where
well,
our
see,
children ask?
the child and children were at the neighbor's house. They were
I'm
not.
still confused. So were the owners, the parents, were they the tiebreaker in the yes or no?
Yeah.
Then how is Chapman relevant if Chapman said renters were not present and the third party is necessary for the consent? If both parties were present, why is the third party needed?
Because the police were like,
Because you keep bringing up Chapman, it's in your briefs, I'm still trying to figure out how Chapman is relevant to this case when there is both parties there.
Because you've already said that Matlock's irrelevant because they weren't there.
All right, I'm gonna just take the ability to take one question. When we're thinking of your case, what is the reason for just one sentence summary? Why again? Because I'm getting muddled here. I'm getting confused.
why is it?
Why? Just one sentence, real quick, go. Summarize everything. Is it his? Is it his no? It's a no.
Because if you know, and you,
Thank you. You responded now.
First, let me say, I don't think that whose signature on the lease is relevant here. The fact that they were living there with a contractual agreement, it doesn't matter who signed it, as long as one of them signed it, then it is that signing for both. Because it's the law, when I sign for my wife, that's legal. When she signs for me, the law treats us as one entity. And I really worry about the precedent the court would be setting by signing for the respondent over his room versus her room. Let me give you a hypothetical example of their rule, a ruling of their side would lead.